Hello there and welcome back to another video. Redstone is one of the most important parts of the game. It has literally unlimited uses and you can make whatever you want with it. Without it, Minecraft wouldn't be the same as it is today, so I'm gonna show you today 5 simple must-have redstone machines. All the redstone contraptions you're gonna see are extremely easy to make, so everyone watching can make them. So let's get right into the video. The first redstone contraption in today's video is an expandable sugarcane or bamboo farm. With these farms built in your world, you'll quickly be swimming in sugarcane and bamboo if you build enough of these, with which you can make paper for fireworks or bamboo planks for infinite building blocks. As you can see, these farms are insanely tiny and compact, but if you want to, you can build them as long and as many as you want to. Now the materials. What blocks do you even need to make these things? Well, to build one tile of your sugarcane or bamboo farm, you'll need these specific blocks in the exact amounts. You also have to decide if you're building a sugarcane or bamboo farm. If you're making the sugarcane one, then you also have to get a water bucket and a block which can be waterlogged, like leaves. Building this machine is as simple as it looks. First, place a chest down and a hopper above going into it. Next, place a mud block above the hopper. Other blocks might not work because mud, not being a full block, lets item pass through it. Then place a building block behind the mud and above the one already placed. You can destroy the first one. After that, place a piston and an observer above, facing where the crop is going to be planted. Now place a block behind the piston and redstone dust on it. If you're making a sugarcane farm, then place a leaf block behind the mud and waterlog it. Now, if you place your crop, your farm is going to start working, but the items might sometimes fall out of the hopper's range. So to fix that, place a few glass blocks around the farm to make the items always go in the chest. When you've finished, you should be left with something like this. As I've said before, you can expand this farm to however big you want. You could even fill a whole chunk with them if you want to. If you're getting annoyed by the piglins and other nether mobs getting into your base, then consider making an on and off nether portal. To turn it on, you'll simply switch a lever, and to turn it off, you'll switch another one. That's how easy it is. And you can build anything around it to hide it, because the redstone is quite simple and compact. To build this nether portal, you'll need these materials in exact amounts as shown, and the smallest portal you can make so this contraption works is a 3x4 portal. So you'll need at least 14 obsidian. If you make it any smaller, the wiring won't work, and changing it will be much more complicated and hiding the redstone as well. When building, start off by making a nether portal, something like this one. Then, place 2 temporary blocks and place a dispenser in front of them, and repeat the process on the other side. While placing the dispensers, make sure there's a 1 block gap in between them, because if you don't, one switch will activate 2 dispensers instead of 1, which will break the whole contraption. Once you've done that, it's time to build the actual circuits. The first one will turn the portal on. Do this by placing a block next to the portal and the lever stuck to it. Next, make a path below it leading to the dispenser, on which you'll place redstone dust. Then place a flint and steel in the dispenser. Now that side is working, so it's time to do the other one. Now, to make the off switch, repeat the same process as before. But after you build the path, instead of placing 3 redstone dust, place 2 instead, and an observer next to them just like that. Now you could have instead gone for only redstone dust, but then the water would spill all across your base, which is kind of a problem. So now you have an on button and an off button. Remember though that when turning the portal off, you should click the lever twice, so the water dispenses and goes back inside immediately, so it doesn't spill out everywhere, keeping your base clean and not flooded. Auto smelters are amazing machines. With them built in your world, you don't have to worry about standing next to your furnace and waiting to put in the next materials, or using too much fuel for only one item. Now, an auto smelter is probably one of the easiest things to build that I'm gonna show you today. To build one of these things, you'll need a furnace, 3 hoppers, and 3 chests. You can of course use any type of furnace you want to, and if you want to, you can even use a barrel instead of a chest. So, now it's time to build it. First, place your furnace somewhere. Then, place a hopper above, going into the furnace with a chest on top of it. After that, place a hopper going into the furnace on either side of it with a chest on top of it. When you've done that, place a chest below the furnace and a hopper going from the furnace into the bottom chest. And your auto smelter is ready. Your input, or whatever you're smelting, will go in the top chest, your fuel in the side one, and then when your materials smelt, they'll end up in the bottom one. For example, let's say you're smelting some iron. First, you're gonna put the ore into the top chest, then the fuel like lava to the side one, and when it's done smelting, you'll get the ingot on the bottom. And that's how simple this machine is. The next simple machine I'm gonna show you is an easy flying machine. This contraption is the most useful when exploring the outer end, or when searching for a specific biome in the overworld or the Nether. The materials needed for this build are 6 honey blocks, 2 observers, 2 sticky pistons, and 2 node blocks. You might also want to have an obsidian block and a redstone one to stop the machine when needed. Now it's time to build it, and that's also extremely simple. First, place 2 temporary blocks, an observer facing the blocks you placed, then a piston facing away from the observer. After that, replace the block next to the observer with a node block, and destroy the block underneath it. Now place 3 honey blocks in front of the piston. Once you've done that, repeat the process on the other side, but flip it. So instead of the node block touching the other one, it's on the other side touching the honey block. And your own flying machine is done. Now, the operation manual. To turn this machine on, you'll have to click one of the node blocks. Let's say you want to go that way, then press the further away one, and vice versa. But when this thing is going, it might be hard to stop. So you either have obsidian placed at the end of your path, or if you're going into unexplored territory, then place a redstone block on top of the machine to stop it. And then an obsidian block in its path so it doesn't move any further. And now you're all set to go. The redstone machine I'm gonna show you right now is probably one of the most useful ones, and that's an item sorter. This build is so good because it lets you organize your loot without you spending loads of time on it every time you have to unload your loot. These are the materials in exact numbers you're gonna need to make an item sorter for 5 different items. If you want to expand your machine, then you'll need more items the bigger it will be. Start by placing a row of double chests. Then place hoppers behind them going into them. Once you've done that, dig a row of blocks next to the hoppers and place redstone torches in them like so. Then 2 blocks away, dig another row of blocks but place repeaters instead. After that, cover it all up with blocks. Now place a row of dust behind everything and cover 2/3 of the blocks with redstone dust, only leaving 1 row without it where you'll place some comparators. Now place a row of hoppers above the existing ones, facing the comparators. Now you can cover up the chests with glass, then make a 3-block pillar on the left of the build and place another row of hoppers facing them, and add an additional one at the end. Now place a chest above the last hopper on the right and a double chest on the left next to a hopper. You can also add some blocks on the side for customization if you want to. Now add labels for the items you want to sort. Once you've done all the building, rename some blocks to be your filler items. You'll need 44 for each item you want to sort. Use some quick to get blocks like dirt or sand. Then place 11 of the fillers in the last 4 slots and the item you want to be sorted in the first one. Now repeat the process for each one with different sorted items. And your item sorter is complete. The top chest is going to be your input, so where your items are going. Then the items you're sorting are going to go in their own chest at the bottom, and the non-sorted ones in the overflow one, so the one on the left of the build. If you enjoyed the video, then consider liking, subscribing, and maybe even checking out my other videos. And see you in the next one.